former general manager of the Redskins, Scott McLaughlin, is talking about the tackles in the draft coming up, and he says Trent Williams, who didn't play last year at all because of the injury, he says he's still better than he would be the first tackle taken in this draft. I'm not sure I understand that, because you're looking at a guy who is not draft eligible. You're talking about a veteran with as many years. He is 31, so I'm not sure if you think you can get as many years out of him as you would one of the 4 draftees. He said he'd be the first tackle taken in this year's draft, hands down, and you bring him in, you're going to get 3 to 4 years out of him. Well, hopefully you'll get more than 3 to 4 years out of one of the 4 tackles coming out of college. So what do you think about Trent Williams, and if the Browns should go after him?
Well, he might be the first tackle taken if he came in making what rookie tackles are going to make.
Right.
But he comes in asking for the kind of money he was asking for in Washington. I'm not sure that that's the case. The other part of that to me is, okay, you look at a guy who's a 7-time Pro Bowler. Sure, he'd be taken over a guy who hasn't proven anything in the league yet, at the age of 31. Now, if he were 35, people would say, no way, we're not going to do that. I still like the idea of drafting a young tackle with Bill Callahan in place and having that guy for the next 8 to 10 years. That would be my preference if they feel as strongly about some of these tackles as other national, draft so-called experts do.
Well, you're talking about Joe Thomas, basically, if you want 8 to 10 years out of the guy at that level.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe Thomas if that were available to you this year, and the other option was, let's not forget now that it's easy to say Trent Williams would be the first tackle taken in the draft, but that's not how you have to acquire him. You have to acquire him now by giving up something for him.
Got to trade for him.
Yeah, so it sounds like an interesting statement on the surface, but it's not a realistic one for teams to even ponder. I think you give up too much. If Washington's smart, they don't just give them away. And I would still think it's going to take at least a 2, and probably a fairly high 2 for Washington to move him. They may just take their chances and hope that he'll come and play for a new coach in Ron Rivera.